probably the greatest book that you could ever read, and it had a very different effect on how you think about things, how billionaires think. This should be in everyone's hand, not because of you're trying to be a billionaire. It's what type of thinking that billionaires have. But I think that this book should be in every spiritual people who go into the rabbit hole, the conspiracy theory, the psychics, the law of attraction, because oftentimes the reason why I'm not trying to be mean to them, I'm not trying to bash on them, is because they are stubborn. And I want, when I see something that can be improved upon, even myself, I'm stubborn as hell, right? But if just a little bit idea or the way that we look at things could change our way of our thinking, and it can change the course of direction that you're going head toward. And oftentimes I see a lot of, and it made me suffer, because if I don't do the work I'm doing, a lot of psychics, a lot of spiritual people, a lot of law of attraction could suffer from where they're heading, because when they are consumed by information and they're curious, because sometimes when you're too curious, it will take down, and certain type of information is based on fear. You go down to the rabbit hole of conspiracy theory and you don't think correctly. So what happens is you control by this fear, and you don't do your dreams and hopes and our aspirations. You go down that path, and I often see a lot of psychics. They live within themselves. They are very right-brained. They use their imagination oftentimes against them. So they go down that path, right? But since they're so righteous, so stubborn, they reject any idea that could improve their life. And it could save their life, because certain information could kill you. Because I see in the spiritual community that certain information could kill you and throw you off on a tangent that and it derail you from the things that you want to do the most. And so you're invest in your time and energy, and it's opportunity cost which you can't get back. So that's a sunk cost. Sunk cost is you can't get anything back. And you dive all this time to, because I often seen it, it's painfully because they oppose opposite information. So I would say that if spiritual people say all the power is within your control, yes, right? Everything is within you. Then it's what you do with that information. It's what's inside your head that you take that to action. Otherwise, it will die, right? And so they can't live with opposite ideas. However, the billionaire effect say the billionaires can hold opposite ideas. That's why oftentimes I like both. I like to see it I can have opposite ideas. I do. It's not I don't. I listen to people. It's not I don't. My brain is stubborn as F. I do. It's not that they don't matter. That they do matter, but we have to look at it as a abundance mentality, not scarcity mentality. Because if spiritual people or psychic or law of attraction, they say abundance, but their mind it's like scarcity, because scarcity close off from good idea that could change their life. But abundance mentality is to take a whole bunch of ideas, and they allow that information and knowledge to change their life, right? But they can't do it. That's why I often, because I'm frustrated, okay? I'm frustrated that the spiritual community, the law of attraction community, don't get it. Like, it's great to dive into all these conspiracy theories, spiritual stuff, but if it's based on fear and it's based on, it's not absolute truth, then I don't buy. Like, I discard what is useless, and I apply what is useful. So in this book, right, it talked about a battle against nature, the habits of mind and action that allow some individual to thrive in a world of dualities come naturally to producers, but they are not not natural for the majority of the population, gravitating toward the performer end of the spectrum. There are a limited number of ideas or issues that most execute. I can't even say that. I'm too Asian. Can attend simultaneously. People can attempt to increase their working memory, that system in the brain that allows us to hold on to multiple ideas or line of thought, but it won't necessarily lead us to embrace duality. According to decades of psychological research, human beings do not generally like integrating opposite ideas. In fact, when confronted with ideas that challenge our core beliefs, we tend to discard or ignore them. Yet, we can overrule our inherent nature. Many of the self-made billionaires we study appear to be natural-born producers. But the point noted above about the importance of practice and the long-term commitment that many of them make to the market, in which they eventually thrive, show that they also need to hone and cultivate the habits of mind and actually necessary to become fully developed producers. Yes, inborn skills and abilities matters, but everyone from the natural-born producer to the gifted performer can build and hone the habit of mind that will make him or her a better manager. So, certain information that spiritual people, that psychics and law of attractions, and sometimes self-help people have that could been discarded years ago, but they kept it because they believe in it so much that it's killing them inside. It's killing their future. It's killing their hopes and dreams. But they can't. But generally, also, it's also to the masses or the general population. They can't hold opposite ideas. I can, not always, but I can. I even though I don't like sometime when it hit my core belief system, I know it's there, right? But I know that there are opposite information and opposite ideas. Like, for instance, certain authors, certain subjects have opposite ideas of one another. Whether they're in law of attraction, personal development, self-help. All people, like billionaires, millionaires, self-help, law of attraction, spiritual people, have all opposite ideas. Because they also have opposite experiences that they have in life. They experience different things than most people. They go through different pain, different suffering than most people. But some people who tell spiritual people tell other people that to be abundant, you must have this type of thinking. But oftentimes, even those spiritual people need to be open-minded to say, you know what, it's both. Because if I cannot have both, oftentimes people, when you go against somebody's belief system, it's hard to say that, as Bob Proctor say, that your point of view is right? Because you live with yourself and you still with yourself most of the time, right? And your point of view is right. And it's okay. But my point of view is also right. So we're going head to head against each other. But the flexible person, the fluid person, the person who has the ability just to, even though we're going head to head against each other, let's say, and we have both opposite ideas of how life or spiritual or law of attraction should be, right? But for me, I can sit there and I can take away what you say, but still apply a little bit, yeah. But over there, you can't, because your mind is too stuck on being proud of what you know in the spiritual community, law of attraction, or conspiracy theory. And most people say, Johnny, why are you so being ruthless to the spiritual community, to the law of attraction, to the psych? Because I don't want them to suffer. Because when they suffer and they go down to the wrong path, they will die of their hopes and dreams. That I see so many psychics, so many people in the spiritual law of attraction community. They suffer because of the ideas that they hold. Because they hold that belief and they don't let go of that. Different information could help them, but they reject that idea. So they don't do the research, because oftentimes, let's say you do the research, right? Most oftentimes, people fall in love with what they know, or confirmation bias. That anything outside of what they know, they hate it. They reject it, especially spiritual, psychic, and law of attraction community. Unless if they're willing to evolve, to be able to grow, they have to have opposite ideas bouncing off, hitting at all point of view. Because a lot of books that you read, or a lot of information, billionaires or millionaires, they have a lot of ideas that contradicts to your belief system. And then one day you wake up, you say, damn, I'm confused. But use what's useful, because most certain information that you read or watch won't be useful for you today, but it could be useful for tomorrow or the future. Because condition of your life change, or your community change, your body changes, your mind changes, you grow, your experiences different things as you grow older. You don't stay the same unless you live back in the past, because your mind is a record of the past, as Dr. Joe Dispenza said. If it is living in the past, so does spiritual, law of attraction, psychic live in the past. They say that they want the future, right? But they're not building that future for themselves, right? If they say, the psychic, the spiritual said that we all have power within us and control, and that we can control what we do. That's within our power, that's within us, right? If that's all the answer. But I like to live in dualities. You see my point here? I like to live in duality, where I say it's both. That's duality, right? Both inside and outside. If the way that we think about the law of correspondence as within, so without, it's both. Right? If it's all one infinite, then what's the point of Ouroboros? The Ouroboros is infinite, right? When you throw off a thought and it come back to you, that's Ouroboros. That's transmuting the energy through the universe, and it's coming back. It's both. So why can't we have both? Why do we have to have one or the other? Some people, let's say some people who don't have a plan B. They have plan A, and they burn the bridges, right? And they build that future. They burn the bridges. Some people can't do that, right? Some people have to take their time to build that future, step by step. Some just jump off and see what happens. They don't have no plan. They just wing it. Some people have plans step by step, right? Can you hold an opposing idea? Most people can't. Average person can't. If I say something to my friends that have opposing ideas from me, because let's say I study a lot, I do, and my friend would say money is evil, money is root all evil, or something of richest people evil, and I come back and say, no, rich people aren't evil, and I'm over here saying, no, rich people aren't evil, they give to charity. And then what happened is cognitive dissonance will hit, and I'm hitting what they know, because they confirm it so much to be true. They will seek out information that conclude that the rich people are evil. However, if I've done a lot of research and interview 2 millionaires, then the rich people aren't evil, right? If I interview 2 millionaires, or they aren't evil, right? They give to they give it to charity. So what are they talking about? If people have done their research and kill off their opposing ideas, they could change their life. I think that so. Whether it's killing off the ideas, the pain that we suffer, or the idea that we have against our bodies, the dreams or hopes. Certain information will kill your dream faster than a speeding bullet, faster than a speeding light. The other opposite information that could bring sparks through living your dreams, living to build a dream for your family, for you, for other people, to create something of good, of value, right? That is powerful. That's it.